Hi friends, good morning. Today we are required to start with chapter number 17, peer review and quality review. See, there are two parts. Part 1, peer review. Part 2, quality review. Now, I just tell you a brief about the word peer review first. Okay, just understanding the brief, then we go in detail. Now, ICAI wants that all the practicing chartered accountant does their audit in a proper manner. So all practicing chartered accountant doing any kind of audit, statutory audit, tax audit, GST audit, they want that audit should be done in a proper manner. And that's why ICAI has formed a system wherein they send one chartered accountant to check the work of another chartered accountant. Okay, see the word peer review. Peer means person of equal standing. The person of equal standing comes and reviews your work, and that's why we have the word peer review. So ICAI sends one chartered accountant to review the work of another chartered accountant. Simple words, ICAI wants all the practicing chartered accountants to do their audits properly, and that's why they have this system in place. Now, this chapter, peer review and quality review, a new material by ICAI was released, which is applicable for May 21 exam onwards. And in this new material, this chapter 17, had a lot of small changes. Statement of peer review was actually revised. The ICAI comes out with a statement of peer review, statement of quality review, that were actually revised. So this chapter had many small changes. Yes, this material is the updated one. So this is updated as per the latest ICAI material, which has been released, applicable for May 21 exam onwards. Now, unit 1, peer review. We are going for that. I told you peer. What do you mean by word peer? Person of equal standing. Peer means person of equal standing. The person of equal standing comes and reviews your work. Simple words mein, one chartered accountant checking the work of another chartered accountant. Now sir, which chartered accountant will come? So can I go and check the work of another chartered accountant? I am a practicing CA. Can I go and check the work of another chartered accountant? No. It's not like that. The ICAI maintains a panel of peer reviewer. You need to get yourself empaneled in the panel. So ICAI is maintaining a panel. If you want to become a reviewer, peer reviewer, you need to get yourself empaneled over there. There are some criterias, like you should be in practice for this many years, etc. So that criterias are there. Plus, now, sir, okay, ICAI sends one chartered accountant to review the work of another chartered accountant. Would peer review come every year? Like whether a chartered accountant will come and see my work every year. It's not every year. The ICAI sends at your place once in 3 years or once in 4 years. Yeah, we have a categories. Your firm will be divided in category. If you fall in category 1 or category A, it's once in 3 years. If you fall in category 2 or category B, it's once in 4 years. So would I have a peer review every year? No. So ICAI will send a chartered accountant in my place once in 3 years or once in 4 years to check whether I am doing my work properly or not. Now, whether that person, the chartered accountant coming and seeing my work, whether he will sit on my judgments. Like many times when we do audit, we have to take professional judgments. What should be the materiality level? That's a judgment. Whether he will come and question my judgments. Answer is no. That person is coming not to check your judgments, but he is coming to see whether you have systems in place, your policies and procedures, the systems in place in order to comply with accounting standards, auditing standards, guidance notes, circulars issued by ICAI or other statutory bodies. So whether your policies and procedures, the systems, so they come over here to see your system which you have in place to ensure your audit is done as per professional, ethical and technical standards. They want that audit is done properly. उसके लिए systems are in place. They don't come and question your judgment. That they are not here to sit on your judgments. Okay, so brief again. What do we mean by the word peer review? ICAI wants the practicing chartered accountant to work in a better way. So they will send one chartered accountant to check the work of another chartered accountant. So one chartered accountant who is coming, he's called peer reviewer. And ICAI has a board, peer review board. Just as we have accounting standard board, auditing standard board, this is peer review board. The peer review board will select the PU, practice unit, the practicing CA जिसका review करना है. Peer review board will select the PU. They will send a reviewer at your place. They will send a peer reviewer at your place, and reviewer will come and see how your audits are being done. Assurance engagement, how your audits are being done. They are not concerned with your advisory work. Your audits are being done. Wherever you're putting sign, that advisory work is not covered. Assurance engagements are covered. Now they will come and see whether you have systems, that is policies and procedures in place in order to ensure the audit complies with ethical, professional, technical standards. In simple words, audit complies with accounting standards, standards on auditing, guidance notes, circulars, etc., etc. And they are not going to sit on your judgment. They are not concerned with how judgments are made by you. Okay, let's move ahead. Now in detail, peer review. First half will finish peer review. Second half will finish quality review. Okay, and this is amended as per the latest ICAI material applicable for May 21 exam onwards. Okay, introduction. Peer means a person of equal standing. Review means checking. What is peer review? Peer review mean review of work done by a professional by another professional of similar standing. So one chartered accountant checking the work of another chartered accountant. And this is a system put in place by ICAI only. Okay, now there's a definition of peer review which is important. There's a definition of peer review which is important as per the statement of peer review. As per the statement of peer review means examination and review of. Okay, I told you they are going to come and check your policies and procedures, your systems. So it's an examination and review of system and procedure to determine whether the same has been put in place by PU. Practice unit is the practicing CA or a practicing firm of CA. Individual CA or a firm of CA. PU is practice unit. Okay. Examination and review of systems and procedure to determine whether they have been put in place by PU for ensuring quality of assurance services. For ensuring quality of assurance services. Only where you put signature, your audit reports, your certificate, that they will check. They will not see your consultancy works. As envisaged by technical, professional, ethical standards. Sir, what is technical, professional, ethical standards? It will come below. Yeah, it will come up. Simple words, accounting standards, auditing standards, guidance note, clarification, statutory requirements, that all. As applicable, including other regulatory requirements thereto. Including other regulatory requirements thereto, and whether the same are consistently applied during the period under review. Okay. Again, I just divide the definition. It's an examination and review of systems and procedures. I'll cut here. It's examination and review of systems and procedure to determine whether they've been put in place by PU. To determine whether they've been put in place by PU. For what? For ensuring the quality of assurance services. Envisaged means required. Envisaged means required. as required by technical, professional, ethical standards as well as the other regulatory requirement, and whether the same are consistently applied during the period of review. Okay, the peer review means examination and review of systems and procedures to determine whether they've been put in place by PU for ensuring the quality of assurance services as required by technical, professional, ethical standard as well as other regulatory requirements, and also to determine whether they have been consistently applied during the period under review. So why this word came, during the period under review? Whenever a reviewer comes, he can review 3 years work. For all that 3 years, whether that systems and procedures were implemented so that the quality of assurance services is as required by technical, professional, ethical standard and the regulatory requirements. If you understand definition, full chapter is easy. Yeah, full chapter, it revolves around this thing. Okay, next, reviewer. Okay, who is a reviewer? He is a qualified chartered accountant, but he is there in the empanelment. He is empaneled by the peer review board. Okay, so wherever the word board comes, it's a peer review board. So in your unit 1, wherever the word board comes, it's a peer review board. He is a member of ICAI, duly approved and empaneled by board on fulfilling certain qualification prescribed for a reviewer. Sir, what are the qualifications for reviewer? It will come later. It will come later. Okay, PU means a firm of chartered accountant or an individual member in practice. Firm of chartered accountant or an individual member in practice. Reviewer will come and see the work of PU, practice unit. Peer review board is the board constituted by Council of ICAI from time to time. It's a board constituted by Council of ICAI. Okay, like we have a state government, central government. Under ICAI, we have regional council, central council. Yeah, there are 4 regional council. Yeah, southern region, western region, northern region, eastern region. You have WRC, SIRC, EIRC. You have WRO number, SRO number. So that's 4 region. So we have a regional council and we have a central council, like state government, central government. Board will be formed by council. Council is central council. Anywhere if it is silent, it's the central council of ICAI. Anywhere if it is silent, it's always central council of ICAI. The peer review board is formed by ICAI only. Peer review board is formed by ICAI. Quality review board is formed by central government. Peer review board formed by ICAI. हमारे खुद के बंदे peer review. Quality review board is actually by central government. Okay. And whatever statements of peer review are given, you need to follow them. If you're not following it, you are guilty of professional misconduct. Okay, now why peer review is required? This is actually why peer review. Why peer review is required? This is additional thing. It was not there earlier. This is newly added para. Okay, why do we have a peer review required? Okay, so first of all, the nature of work is such it can be easily subjected to peer review. You finish the audit, someone can come and check how you have done the work. The nature of work is such it can be easily subjected to peer review. Second, business environment is changing so fast. The auditor, it is necessary for auditor to keep improving his audit technique, and there should be a stamp of approval about his competence. Okay, peer review done, it's a stamp. You're working properly. If I got a peer review certificate, My peer review is done, everything was fine, it's a stamp. You are doing work properly. The business environment is changing fast. Auditor needs to keep improving his audit technique, and he should seek a stamp of approval. So approval hona chahiye, this guy is doing fine. If I have a peer review certificate, sir, review happened, everything is fine, I'm doing well. Third, a question whether auditor has performed his work satisfactorily or not is arising very frequently. Nowadays, frequently questions come on auditor, whether they are working properly or not. If peer review is done, you can say I'm working properly. ICAI people have came and checked my work. So one, our work is such, it can be easily subjected to review. Business environment is changing fast. Auditor needs to also improve his audit technique, and he should get a stamp that he is working properly. And thirdly, people keep on questioning now whether auditor is working properly or not. For that, peer review will be helpful. Okay, so therefore, if work of any auditor is questioned, the auditor's first line of defense would be the work is as per auditing practice and for which also peer review is done. If someone questions me, I can say, sir, I'm doing as per the auditing standards, I'm doing as per the professional standards, and see, my work is peer reviewed. Reviewer has came and checked my work, I'm doing fine. So this is basically why peer review. Hope clear? Next, objectives. Important. Actually, all important things I have written in bracket only. IMP is important. Okay, again question. Do they come and check the judgments made by you? Why this materiality level? Why not this materiality level? Why you check this 10 invoices? Why not 8? Why not 12? Do they come and check your judgments? Answer is no. They want to check your systems, the policies, procedures which you have put in to ensure that the audit is as per technical, professional, ethical standards. Okay, the main objective is to ensure that in carrying out an assurance engagement, so it's only for assurance engagement, the members comply with technical, ethical, professional standards, including the regulatory requirement, and the objective is whenever a member, a chartered accountant, is carrying out assurance engagement, where he'll be giving some level of assurance, I'll give you some level of satisfaction to you that this is showing a true and fair view. Remember, audit, we give a reasonable assurance. Review, we give a moderate assurance. Agreed upon procedure, no assurance. Compilation, no assurance. Remember chapter 1. So audit में reasonable assurance, review, limited review, moderate assurance, but compilation, agreed upon procedure, no assurance. So whenever we are carrying out an assurance engagement, the member of institute, chartered accountants, they comply with technical, professional, ethical standards. Sir, ये क्या है? Technical, professional, ethical standards. It's nothing but standards of accounting, standards of auditing, clarification, circular, guidelines, that all. We comply with all of them, and we have proper systems. Including documentation to prove it, to demonstrate the quality of assurance services. We have proper systems, including documentation, to amply demonstrate the quality of assurance service. The primary objective is not to find out deficiencies, but to improve the quality of services. They look for the systems. Proper systems are in place. Whether we have proper systems for carrying out the work, if we have proper systems, work will be done properly. The objective is not to find deficiency for each area. Objective is to improve the quality of services rendered by member of profession. Now, see, whenever I highlight important sentences. I never highlight important words. Most of the time important sentences, and I focus on sentences. this sentence should come in my answer. The question is of objective. If these 2 points are not there, marks will not be there. You write very general, marks will not come. Better have the language, highlight important sentences. Okay. Now the peer review is directed towards maintenance as well as enhancement of quality of assurance services. To maintain the quality of service, to enhance the quality of service, and they are not going to sit on your judgments. The reviewer is not going to sit on the judgments of PU while rendering the assurance services, but he will evaluate the procedures followed, the procedures which you are following in rendering those services. So he is focusing on basically the systems, procedures, the way you are working. He is not focusing on your judgments. He is not trying to find one single isolated case of problem. ये one place यहाँ पे, ये 10 audit में से one place में you did not attend physical counting. Remember ऐसे 501, auditor should attend physical inventory counting. ये 10 audit में से one place you did not attend. He is not there to find that single isolated case. He is there to understand your systems, your procedures, where you are generally weak. Overall, suppose we don't do planning for audit. Okay, so we don't do planning for audit. Any audit we are not doing planning. That is a problem. SA 300 violated, planning not done. It's not for one isolated case. All audits may we are not doing it. The peer reviewer tries to find that. So see, the key objective of peer review exercise is not to identify isolated cases of engagement failure, but to find out the weaknesses that are pervasive and chronic in nature. The key objective is not to identify isolated cases of engagement failure. One time physical verification we did not attend, वो नहीं देखते वो लोग. They see weaknesses which are pervasive. We never do planning for any audits. That's a problem. We never do planning for any audit. That's a problem. Similar example is given. So this is your objectives of peer review. So now just see. I'll try to remember this fully. ये इतने सारे में से I'll just remember 2 lines. I try to just find important sentences. Now example I can have in my own words. Other things I can have in my own words. But this lines 1, 2. So this 1 sentence, 2 sentence. And this thing. This is what I'll focus on remembering. Next, scope. Scope of peer review. Okay. Clearly the word came. It is for assurance service engagement. So the assurance engagements which we are doing, uske liye ye hai. The statement of peer review lays down the scope. The peer review process shall apply to all assurance services provided by PU. Assurance services, audit, review, they are assurance services. So once a PU is selected, is assurance engagement record pertaining to peer review period shall be subject to review. Your assurance engagement, whichever you have taken, relating to peer review period will be for 3 years. Yeah, they will review for a period of 3 years. It's given at the end. Here, the statement of peer review aims to confine the scope for preceding 3 years. So once the PU is selected, its assurance engagement record, only the assurance services, audit, review, they are assurance services. An audit will cover all types: statutory audit, tax audit, GST audit, everything. The assurance engagement records pertaining to peer review period shall be subject to review. Now review shall cover what? Review shall cover compliance with technical professional ethical standard. We have technical professional ethical standard described in detail. They will try to check your quality of reporting, systems and procedure for carrying out assurance engagement, staff training, how do you give, compliance with guidelines issued by ICAI for members. This is to the members, including fees charge, how many audits you can take. Remember, company audit. As per company audit, we can take maximum 20 audits per partner. Company audit ka limit is 20. Tax audit ka limit is 60 per partner. So, these are compliance with directions, guidelines issued by ICAI to the members. Guidelines in relation to article assistant. In relation to article assistant. Stipend. Remember, monthly payment of stipend is mandatory. Minimum working hours 35. Article should not be used for other personal works. So, this all guidelines relating to articles. So, compliance with directions guideline issued by council to the members. This is in relation to article assistant. There's a difference. Okay, whether all these things, they all will be covered under review. Whether you are complying with technical, professional, ethical standards, your quality of reporting, systems, procedures which you have, how do you give training to your staffs, how do you comply with directions, guidelines issued by the council relating to fees charge, sealing on audit, register you maintain about your assurance engagement, and how do you comply with directions, guidelines issued in relation to article assistant. So like attendance register, work diaries, stipend payment, that all they will come and check. Clear with this? Only assurance engagement, and they will cover a period 3 years. Okay, now this is technical, professional, ethical standard means. Technical, professional, ethical standard means accounting standard issued by ICAI that are applicable for entities other than companies covered under Companies Act. For companies covered under Companies Act, the accounting standards are issued by central government in consultation with NAFRA. Actually, they are same, but it's central government in consultation with NAFRA. For others, which are not companies covered under Companies Act, they are issued directly by ICAI. So, accounting standard normally issued by ICAI, but for companies, they need to be issued by central government in consultation with NAFRA, and to NAFRA, ICAI will recommend. ICAI will give it to NAFRA, NAFRA will then recommend to central government will put a stamp. The ICAI will give it to NAFRA, NAFRA will recommend to central government will put stamp. So it is accounting standard issued by ICAI, prescribed under section 133. This is the normal one, this is Ind AS. Second one is normal one, third one is Ind AS. These are notified as accounting standard rules. These are notified as Ind AS. Standards issued by ICAI including your engagement standards, statements, guidance notes, standards on internal audit, guidelines, etc. Framework for preparation, presentation of financial statement. In FR, we have a chapter. Framework for preparation, presentation of financial statement. Same way, we have a preface to standards on auditing. We have a preface on standards on auditing, that all preface, and provisions of relevant statute. Okay, so this all is nothing but technical, professional, ethical standards. So accounting standard issued by ICAI, accounting standard prescribed under section 133. This is by central government in consultation with NAFRA. This is the normal accounting standard. This is Ind AS. Now, all companies don't have Ind AS. Only those companies whose net worth is 250 crores or more, they have Ind AS. So there are many companies, they follow normal accounting standard also. Standards on auditing, statements, guidance notes, standards on internal audit, guidelines, notification, directions issued by council. Framework for preparation, presentation of financial statement, preface to your auditing standards, and provisions of relevant statute. This all is known as technical professional ethical standard. There can be a question, what do you mean by technical professional ethical standards? Okay, now what is not included in assurance engagement? What is not included in assurance engagement? The assurance engagement does not include. Assurance engagement does not include. Where you're not giving any level of satisfaction, degree of confidence, though that's not an assurance engagement. Management consultancy, representation before various authority, preparing tax return. I'm just preparing tax return based on data given by you. I'm not giving assurance this is true and fair. Compilation, assisting in preparing, compiling some information other than financial statement. This compilation of financial, E is compiling other than financial. Testifying as expert witness. Court calls you to testify as expert witness. Now I tell you, any financial related fraud happened and court asks you whether this fraud has happened. So you are going to the court, you become a witness, court is asking you whether according to you it's a fraud or not. Expert witness. As an expert they are calling you. As an expert they are calling you and telling whether do you think this is a fraud, whether this guy has done it. I say yes, no, वहाँ पे court में, that's testifying as expert witness. Providing expert opinion, that's consultancy. This is actually consultancy. Expert witness, expert opinion, this will be covered under consultancy. Engagement to carry out due diligence. We have a chapter, due diligence, investigation, and forensic audit. The engagement of due diligence, these are not included. These are not included in the word assurance engagement. Assurance engagement will include all types of your audits, all type of your certification. It will include your review also, where you are giving some level of assurance. It's interchangeably used with audit service, attestation function, audit functions. So this is basically word used. Okay, if question comes, they will make a big story. Under peer review, the auditor basically checks the assurance engagement. The reviewer will come and check the assurance engagement. What is not covered under assurance engagement? If they ask what is not covered, this is the answer. If they ask what do you mean by technical, professional, ethical standard, this is the answer. If they just ask scope of peer review, this is the answer. If they just ask scope of peer review, this is the answer. So यहाँ पे there can be 2-3 questions. They will never ask directly write down scope of peer review. No. They will give a definition. Like suppose I tell you how they make the question. ये पूरा definition था. They'll give a full definition. Peer review means examination and review of systems and procedure to determine whether they've been put in place by PU for ensuring quality of assurance services as envisaged by technical, professional, ethical standard and whether the same has been consistently applied. Okay, what do you mean by technical, professional, ethical standard? Or what do you mean by assurance services? Or what is not covered under assurance services? तो पूरा definition देंगे. Important will be the last line of question. I tell you again, in auditing, last line of question should be interpreted very, very carefully. Okay, this is done. Next, applicability. There's amendment over here. Earlier there were 3 levels, level 1, 2, 3. Now there are only 2 levels, 1 and 2. Earlier 3 levels, now only 2 levels. So sir, whether peer review will come. Okay, I am a firm of practicing CA or I am an individual CA. We are called PU. So whether PU will have review every year? No. Either once in 3 years or once in 4 years. If you fall in category 1, it's once in 3 years. If you fall in category level 2, if you fall in level 1, once in 3 years. If you fall in level 2, once in 4 years. Okay, so every PU, including its branches, based on their category, will be subject to peer review. Okay, if you are level 1, कब बोलते हैं level 1? If you have a central statutory audit, not branch audit, central statutory audit of PSU, public sector bank, private sector bank, foreign bank, cooperative bank, public financial institution, regional rural bank, everything. Central statutory audit of bank and public financial institution. Central statutory audit of central or state PSUs and central cooperative societies. Central cooperative society. So under your cooperative society also there is a head cooperative society. Under that various small cooperative societies are there. Like you might have heard the word Amul. Yeah, Amul Doodh Pita Hai India. So Amul is a part of Mother Dairy. The Mother Dairy Milk Marketing Federation Cooperative Society. It's GCMMF. Gujarat something Milk Marketing Federation thing, and uske andar Amul and other dairies are coming. The Central Cooperative Society. Same way, Central Statutory Audit of Insurance Companies. Statutory Audit of AMC, Asset Management Companies or Mutual Fund. The mutual fund is generally a trust. They hire AMC to manage the funds of mutual fund. So we give money to mutual funds, they give us units. To manage the funds of mutual fund, there is AMC. If you are a statutory auditor of AMC or mutual fund, if you are a statutory auditor of a listed entity, if you are a statutory auditor of body corporate including trust which are covered under public interest entities, the statutory audit of public interest entities. Okay, statutory audit of entities which have raised funds from public or bank or financial institution over 50 crores, which have raised donation trust over 50 crores. Net worth 250 crore or more. Ind AS wali, all Ind AS companies. If you are an auditor of that. Okay, if you are funded by central or state government, you got a grant 50 crores or more, over 50 crores. Statutory auditor of NBFC as defined by board. Okay, few NBFCs are covered here, few NBFCs are covered in level 2. Few NBFCs here, few NBFCs below. And central statutory audit of RRBs and parent subsidiary associate JV of above. Okay. So whether PU will have a review, whether a CA firm or a CA in practice, that's PU, will have a peer review every year? No. Either it will be once in 3 years or once in 4 years, depends on category, whether you are in level 1 or level 2. Level 1, you have central statutory audit of banks, central statutory audit of state PSUs or government central PSUs, Central statutory audit of insurance company. You are a statutory auditor of AMC or mutual fund. You are a statutory auditor of listed company. You are a statutory auditor of any entity wherein it's a public interest entity. You've taken a loan 50 crores or over more than 50 crores. You got a grant from government or donations more than 50 crore. Your net worth is more than 250 crores. So this all are basically covered under level 1. Now level 2. Level 2. Statutory internal concurrent tax auditor of the branches or offices. तो ऊपर था central statutory auditor. Now branch auditor. Branch auditor of bank, insurance companies, cooperative bank, public sector undertaking, etc. Branch auditor. Okay. Some NBFCs fall here. If you see, I've circled the word as may be defined by the board. As may be defined by the board. So some NBFCs will fall above, some will go below. So which one where? It's not relevant for us. Okay. Net worth over 5 crores or turnover more than 50 crores. Net worth over 5 crores or turnover more than 50 crores. UDIN generated are more than specified numbers. Now, sir, what is this UDIN? Unique Document Identification Number. Unique Document Identification Number, UDIN. Whenever auditor is issuing any audit report or certificate, whenever auditor is coming out with any audit report or certificate, earlier we could not understand whether it's a genuine certificate, it's really issued by the chartered accountant. If someone gives you a fake certificate, you might not be aware. यार ये chartered accountant ने issue किया ही नहीं था. Company made it up. Company scanned it, PDF कर लिया, edit कर लिया, and they came out with a new one. So whether it's a real genuine certificate issued by chartered accountant or not, उसके लिए ICAI has came up with this UDIN. So every report or certificate which an auditor gives, he has to put a UDIN number, Unique Document Identification Number. That number will be generated and put. So if auditor has generated the number and put over there, then it will match, because वो system में generate करेगा, it will be shown in records also. So UDIN number, if at all Unique Document Identification Number generated are more than specified number. Kitna? It's not there in our syllabus. Fund raised is more than 25. Fund raised is more than 25 crore, less than 50 crore, or any other PU not covered above. Okay, the not covered above वाले भी covered here. तो sir net worth less than 5 crore तो भी covered. ऊपर था net worth over 5 crores, that was C point. F is any other PU. If net worth is 1 crore also still covered. You have raised funds less than 25 crores still covered. That is going in point F. If you are in level 1, you will have, if you are doing audits of वो level 1 entities जो cover हो रही थी, you will have peer review once in 3 years. If you are in falling in level 2, you are doing statutory audits of this entity, you will fall in level 2, you will have a peer review once in 4 years. Plus special case review. Special case. You got information from ICAI, or say for example any statutory body or any regulatory body, they tell you peer review board may come out with a review of yours. Okay, PU not selected for review may apply suo motu. If you're not selected, you can apply suo motu also. Your client can request the board to conduct a peer review of its auditor. Okay, so imagine I'm an auditor of, say for example, AB Traders. Now AB Traders wants that my peer review should be done. They can make application to peer review board. Yeah, so client may request the board for a conduct of peer review. And board may, with approval of council, modify the criteria. Periodicity, level 1 PU once in 3 years, level 2 it is once in 4 years. If board decide, it can be at a shorter intervals. If board decides, it can be at shorter intervals. हो गया. This is your when peer review will come, either once in 3 years or once in 4 years. Clear with this? Okay, now peer review board. ICAI has formed a peer review board. They will select the PU, which is basically to be reviewed, and they will send the reviewer over there. And reviewer will give the report to peer review board. Reviewer will give the report to peer review board. Okay. So now coming to peer review board. It is constituted by council, maximum 12 members. Not less than 50% shall be the council members. Okay, 12 members appointed by council and 50% has to be council members only. Okay, so this is a board constituted by council. It will have maximum 12 members. All are to be appointed by council. So central council will appoint all the members. Not less than 50% has to be the council members only. The council members will be the member of peer review board. Minimum 50%. Minimum 50% out of 12 has to be council members. ठीक है? उनका term. The term of 2/3 member shall be 3 years or till the time they will be a council member, whichever is earlier. 3 years or till the time they will be council members, whichever is earlier. And chairman and vice chairman may be rotated every year. Again, the word is may be rotated every year. The 2/3 member shall be for 3 years or till their term will end in council, whichever is earlier. Others के लिए there can be a shorter period also, longer period also. 2/3 के लिए 3 years or till the time they will be council member, whichever is earlier. Others के लिए it can be shorter duration or a longer duration. And now majority member should be council member. Majority 12 में से 7 are council members. So remaining 5 can be non-council member. They can be person of eminent other thing also. The eminent persons of other categories. So I just write over here. Council may nominate member from outside bodies and amongst prominent individuals of high integrity reputation, bankers, academician, economist, legal professional, business executive, koi bhi. It can be. But chairman and vice chairman shall be elected from the council members only. Okay, total 12, majority should be council member, chairman, vice chairman should be from them only. Casual vacancies will be filled by the council itself. And they're telling member of disciplinary committee or a disciplinary board will not be the member of peer review board. Yeah, the disciplinary committee. We did a chapter of professional ethics. Under chapter professional ethics, we had board of discipline, disciplinary committee. The board of discipline, disciplinary committee ka member will not be member of peer review board. Meeting. So there should be at least 1/3 members present, but not less than 3, including a chairman or vice chairman. You need 1/3 member, but not less than 3, including a chairman or a vice chairman. That's quorum. And one meeting should be held every 3 months. At least one meeting shall be held every 3 months. So this is about the peer review board. And peer review board will report to council. Before they have any meeting, they will tell to council that we are going to have a meeting. Okay, eligibility of reviewer is important. Eligibility of reviewer is important. Who can be a reviewer? You need to get yourself empaneled with the panel maintained by PRB. Peer Review Board maintains a panel. If I want to be a reviewer, I have to get myself empaneled with the board. Okay, so I should have, he's a member, he's a CA. See, peer review. One CA checking the work of another CA. He shall be a member in practice. He shall be a member in practice with at least 10 years experience for level 1 entities and 7-year experience for level 2 entities. If I want to be a peer reviewer for level 1, if I want to be a peer reviewer for level 1 entities, 10 year का experience. And level 2 वालों के लिए I need 7 years experience. Okay, moved from industry to practice. Moved for industry to practice. So 15 years industry, 5 years practice for level 1. 15 years industry, 5 years practice का experience for level 1. And 10 years industry, 3 years practice for level 2. Okay, plus requisite training, test are to be cleared. And I should myself have conducted level 1 entities ka audit for 7 years to be eligible for conducting review of level 1 entities. If I want to be a level 1 entity ka reviewer, I should have myself done audit of such entities for at least 7 years. I should be in practice for 10 years, but such audit I should have done for at least 7 years. Okay, you have to furnish a declaration on being appointed. On being appointed, furnish a declaration and sign a declaration of confidentiality. Undergone requisite training, cleared the test. Okay, following are not eligible for being appointed as reviewer. Not eligible for being appointed. Who is not eligible? If disciplinary action is pending against him. Disciplinary action pending. Second, he is already found guilty. Disciplinary proceeding is pending. Second, is found guilty of professional misconduct or other misconduct by council, board of discipline, disciplinary committee. Convicted by competent court. Convicted by competent court. And last, you or your partners have any obligation or conflict of interest in PU. Okay, I am a reviewer. They wanted me to review a firm A and Company. They wanted me to review the firm A and Company. Now A and Company is my son's firm only. I can't do it. I have a conflict of interest in PU. So he or his partner has any obligation or conflict of interest in PU. Plus, now बहुत सारी बार what happens? ICAI sends you to review my firm. ICAI sends you to review my firm. Now suppose there are weaknesses in my firm. If you will report, ICAI will take actions against me. So ICAI has sent you to review my firm. My firm has weaknesses. If you report, they will take actions against me. I want that you please don't report. I have a problems in my firm, but you please don't report. I am telling you, I'll share few of my clients with you. Some clients of mine I'll transfer to you, or we'll work on sharing basis. ऐसा करते हैं. So for not reporting, I'm sharing work with you. That should not happen. And that's why they're telling reviewer shall not accept professional assignment from PU for a period of 2 years from the date of appointment. From the date of appointment, I should not accept any work coming from you for next 2 years. And I should not have also got a work from you before 2 years also. Further, he should not have accepted any professional assignment from PU for a period of 2 years before the date of appointment as a reviewer. Before, यहाँ पे word है, यहाँ पे है from the date of appointment. Simple words. You were not associated with PU. तो past में you are not worked with PU in last 2 years. Next 2 years also you will not work with PU. So you are not associated with PU. Past 2 years में we have not shared the work. Next 2 years also will not share the work. This is basically the given. This is to maintain independence. If you are sharing work with me, we are already connected. Some issues are there. I might tell you don't report. Or if we are not connected, but I say I'll share work with you. Please don't report. आपको मैं काम दूंगा. So still you might not report. That's not okay. And that's why this is put. Okay, question 1. The element of skill, experience, independence of reviewer are ensured before initiating them in peer review process. The reviewers are skillful, experienced, independent. In the above light, state few eligibility criteria fixed for a person to be empaneled as an auditor. Now, to be empaneled is this. This is to be empaneled. This is to be empaneled is this. Now there's one more question. And also for being appointed as a reviewer. This is for being appointed. This is for being appointed. I might be in panel, but if I'm connected with PU, for that PU I cannot be appointed. So for being empaneled is this. See the question. So being empaneled is this. If question is only empaneled, don't write only this. Don't write others. Now I might be in a panel, but I am connected with this PU. They will not give me a review of that. So for being appointed as reviewer is this points. So criteria for a person to be empaneled and for being appointed. Two different questions. Important is understanding the things. Next, qualified assistant. Okay, I go for a review. Can I take an assistant with me? And a reviewer can be a person, not a firm. Reviewer is always a person. Reviewer cannot be a firm. Okay, I just write over here. Peer reviewer is always a person. He cannot be a firm. Peer reviewer is always a person. Firm cannot be reviewer. So peer reviewer is a person. Firm cannot be a reviewer. Firm cannot be a peer reviewer. So one firm going and checking the work of another firm, no. One firm going and checking work of another firm, no. Okay, can I take assistant? Can I take assistant? Maximum one assistant. He should also be a chartered accountant or a qualified assistant working with me. So he should be a chartered accountant and he should be working with me as a partner or a paid employee. Okay, so only one assistant who shall be chartered accountant. Who shall be chartered accountant? And he shall be from the firm of the reviewer, either as a partner or a paid assistant employee. Either is your partner or your employee. And now one more thing. The assistant which you are taking will not have a direct interface with PU or the peer review board. The assistant is there to help you. He cannot talk directly with PU He cannot talk directly with peer review board. If anything you need, it's basically you contact them. He's there just to help you. He cannot interface directly. He cannot talk with PU or the peer review board. He will not have a direct interface either with PU or the peer review board. Hope it's clear. One assistant will be allowed. Okay, confidentiality. All persons connected with this peer review process. All persons connected with peer review process, they have to have a strict confidentiality maintained. Reviewers, members of board, qualified assistants, PU, everybody. So they need to maintain strict confidentiality, and a declaration of solvency will be given. Declaration of solvency shall be filed by reviewer, qualified assistant, and be filed with the board. And all members of board shall also sign a declaration of confidentiality. See, a reviewer will go and check the work of PU. PU has audit of few companies. Uska data reviewer will be able to understand. Reviewer should not leak it. Strict confidentiality has to be maintained. So all persons shall maintain secrecy with regards to any matter arising in performance, and reviewer shall not use or disclose the content of review report to anybody unless as required by board or council. Okay. So strict confidentiality will be maintained by everyone. Next is approach. This is important. Approach of reviewer. Approach. If question is what will be the approach of peer reviewer, there are 5 points, A, B, C, D, E. This is your answer. If you write anything else, marks is not there. Approach first. Now see, I'm going and checking your assurance work. How do you do your audit? Now tell me, what is the first step in audit? Someone appoints you. What do you do? First step in audit. If someone appoints you, what do you do? Sir, we send the letter of engagement. Yeah. Someone appoints me, I'll first send the letter of engagement. So I need to understand the letter of engagement. See, we go and check the work of PU. We check their audits. But wo audit mein letter of engagement kya tha? What were the terms and condition? What was being covered? So first, the reviewer should understand the letter of engagement. He should gain understanding of letter of engagement, since an assurance engagement or any other kind of engagement begins with engagement letter. I come and check your work. I selected 3 files. The first were 3 files ka letter of engagement I should see. I am coming, checking your work. I selected 3 files, 3 audits of yours, which I'll review. Wo 3 audits ka first I should check letter of engagement. Okay, and second, I selected 3 files. Sir, why not 5? Why not 7? Why not 5? Why not 7? You can do it. The number of assurance engagement to be selected for the review requires judgment by reviewer. Requires judgment by reviewer based on the replies to the questionnaire and size of PU. Now, sir, what is this replies to questionnaire? I'm coming to it. I'm coming to that questionnaire part. So, depending on size of PU would have given me data. PU would have given me data, how many assurance audits they have, assurance engagement they have, which are listed, which are unlisted. So, based on data given by them, that will be in questionnaire. Yeah, based on data given by them, I'll decide how many files I want to review. So first I'll check the engagement letter, how PU is preparing. PU ka engagement letters. Iske saath kaisa tha, iske saath kaisa tha. Second, I'll select how many files I want to check based on questionnaire they've filled and size of PU. Third, I'll examine the policies, procedures for acceptance of audit. Now see, if you remember SA 220, quality control for audit work. As per SA 220, the auditor or audit firm should have policies, procedure for accepting new client, continuing old clients. So what is the PU's policies and procedure for accepting new client? I need to examine those. The reviewer should examine the policies and procedure for acceptance of audit has been complied by PU. So PU may have policies for acceptance of a particular engagement. You review that policies. Okay, the first, I need to see the engagement letters prepared by PU. PU has given engagement letter to various companies. Second, PU accepted audit. Why did they accept? Unki policies, procedure. Now I'll select few files. How many files to be selected is my judgment. Now the reviewer will carry out compliance procedures and substantive procedure throughout the peer review process. Now sir, why compliance, why substantive? Okay, the one, I need to check the system, the policies and procedures followed by PU. Whether policies and procedures followed by PU will ensure that the work done by PU is complying with technical, professional, ethical standards. I need to see policies and procedure. That's compliance procedure. And I'll see the documentation. Their files, whether they've really complied with technical, professional, ethical standard. When I'm checking their documents, etc., that's substantive procedure. So in carrying out compliance test, we evaluate whether the policies, procedures are sufficient to ensure compliance of technical standards, whether they are adequately communicated, and whether they are adequately communicated to staff. In substantive test, we evaluate the working papers. Adequately document the findings and the conclusions which you have reached, whether that is proper or not. So we try to check to see PU has done the audit. We try to first check the systems, procedures, what they are following. That is when we are checking that systems procedure, that's compliance procedure. And whatever file selected, uske andar working papers, the documents kept, the conclusions reached, are they proper or not? That's substantive procedure. And while evaluating record, reviewer may also consider whether significant issues have been addressed properly by PU, appropriate evidences are obtained, significant decisions have been properly documented. So we'll also, while evaluating their records, we'll also see significant issues are properly dealt, adequate audit evidences are obtained, and any significant decisions like materiality level or any professional judgment was there, they have been properly documented. This is basically the approach. 5 things. 1, I need to understand the letter of engagement sent by PU to their clients. Second, I'll select few of the files of PU which I'll review. How many files I'll review depends on professional judgment. It will be based on questionnaire which they have filled and the size of PU. Third, if PU has some policy for acceptance of new client, I'll check their policies, procedures, and whether they are followed or not. And then throughout the review, I'll be following mix of compliance and substantive procedures. When I'm checking the policies, procedures, system, that's a compliance procedure. When I'm checking the documents to ensure the working papers are adequate, they correlate with the finding, they correlate with the conclusion, that's substantive procedure. While evaluating records, I'll also see all significant findings have been appropriately considered, adequate audit evidences have been obtained, and any significant decisions are there, they have been properly documented. Clear? Okay, next, obligation of PU. Okay, this is newly added. Earlier it was not given. It's obligation of PU. What's the obligation of PU? Reviewer comes, you allow him access to all records document, you give him explanation whatever he needs, you give him all the assistance. If any document etc. are in other than English language, and if reviewer wants that, sir, please translate into English or please translate into Hindi, you do that. So that is basically provide to reviewer, produce to reviewer, allow access to records documents, provide explanation, provide all assistance. Anything is not in a legible form or it's in a language other than English or Hindi and the reviewer wants it in English or Hindi, you translate and give it to them. Where any information is otherwise than in legible form or it is legible form. Okay, so you need to give that thing, otherwise than legible form you shall provide such information in a legible form with a translation in English or Hindi if it is in other language. Okay, so give access to all records document, give explanation whatever he needs, give him all the assistance. If something is other than in legible form, convert into proper legible form, readable form. If it is in language other than English Hindi, and if the reviewer wants it in English Hindi, please convert and give it. Means simple word, support the reviewer. Next, obligation of reviewer. Obligation of reviewer. Okay, can reviewer take extract of the documents which PU was maintaining? If PU has some documents of clients while doing audit they took, can reviewer take extract of it? No. So you shall not take any extract of PU's client file or records examined by him. He shall not take extract of PU's client file or records examined, and he should complete the review in time frame. Correct? So that's fine. Now comes your review process. Now comes peer review process. Simple. First, selection of PU and selection of reviewer. PU selected, reviewer appointed. Then planning will happen. Reviewer will go visit, execution, and then he will report. The selection of PU, appointment of reviewer. Stage 2 is planning. Stage 3 is execution. 4th is reporting. Okay, the first, which PU there will be a review? Which PU? Okay, is PU ka review decided by peer review board. So PU which is selected for a peer review shall be notified by board, and board will give names of 3 reviewers to PU. Okay, the board has selected your firm. Now they will give you names of 3 reviewers. You have to select out of it. The board gives you names of 3 reviewers. You select out of that within 7 days. Name of 3 reviewers shall be recommended by the board to PU, and the PU shall select one. PU shall select one and intimate to reviewer intimate to board within 7 days. Okay, so first of all, board has selected a PU. Okay, iska review hoga. Now board will give names of 3 reviewers to you. You have to select the reviewer and give the name back to the board. Now board will take consent of that reviewer within 7 days. Board will intimate the reviewer so selected and seek his consent within 7 days. Okay, so you were given 3 options. You selected a reviewer. Now board will send to that reviewer, sir, the PU has selected you for review. Do you agree? So now that reviewer will give his consent within 7 days. Okay, so peer review board selected PU. They gave names of 3 reviewer. You have to reply within 7 days selecting one. Okay, you give the name again to board. Now board will ask the reviewer that this PU has selected you as a reviewer. Do you agree to come? If he says yes or no, that he has to confirm within 7 days. Okay, so PU selected, reviewer selected. Now sir, what if reviewer says no? If reviewer says no, again another 3 names are given to PU. Again PU selects, and again the board will ask the PU selected. So it is possible reviewer selected PU selected a name, but reviewer is currently unavailable. The board will give again another 3 names. Okay, next, planning. Okay, so this was selection of PU, selection of reviewer. Now if reviewer consent is there, reviewer gave consent to board, board will now tell the PU that okay, reviewer has agreed. So information to be submitted by PU on intimation by board of reviewer's consent. The reviewer's consent, board will tell to PU. Now PU has to give a duly filled in questionnaire to the reviewer. The PU shall furnish within 15 days following thing: duly filled in questionnaire, list of assurance clients indicating nature of service, fees charged, policies, procedures adopted by PU. Policies, procedures adopted by PU with regards to independence, staff supervision. Second person review is nothing but EQCR. Second person review is EQCR. Okay, so you give the name to board. I select this. Board will ask that reviewer, are you ready? If reviewer gives the consent, now the board will tell PU that reviewer has given the consent, and now within 15 days you have to send to reviewer, up directly reviewer, PU and reviewer. Now PU has to send to reviewer duly filled in questionnaire, list of assurance engagement, policies, procedures adopted by PU, and the details of proceedings going on against PU or any of its partners or the qualified assistants. That all details are required to be given. तो ये planning होगा. You give all the details to reviewer. The reviewer understand list of assurance engagement you have, nature of service, fees which you charged. Based on that, he can select, okay, I want to come and review this files. Okay, this all is given. Now, information to be furnished by board to reviewer. By board to reviewer. Relevant information from UDIN directorate. So peer review board will give information to peer reviewer from UDIN directorate. Like simple, you have generated 20 UDINs. Now you are telling I am having only 12 audits. If you have 12 audits, you generated 20 UDINs. Extra 8 has to be certification K. Extra 8 has to be certification K. So now you can correlate. So PU said these are the list of my assurance engagement. You can correlate with UDIN data. That will be provided by peer review board to reviewer. Now reviewer will select a sample. Pay attention. Pay attention. Don't try to mug up, just understand currently. Now PU has given data to reviewer. PU has given data to reviewer about the clients which they have, assurance engagement K, work they did, fees they charged, policies, procedures what they have, any proceedings going on against them, etc. Once reviewer receives all that data, within 15 days, reviewer has to select a sample. Okay, I'll come and check these 3 files. I'll come and check these 5 files. The reviewer, within 15 days of receiving information from PU, select the sample that he will like to review. Select the sample which he will like to review, and also plan an on-site visit. And now plan an on-site visit that I'll come after this many days. Minimum 15 days time should be given to keep the documents ready. The reviewer shall give 15 days time to PU to keep the things ready. entire review process should be completed within 90 days from notifying the PU. Entire process is to be completed within 90 days from the date of notifying PU, the day when peer review board informed PU that you are selected. उस दिन से 90 days में procedure should be over. Okay, so I gave all the details about my clients to reviewer. Reviewer selected a sample. He says, I'll come and check this 3 files or 5 files. On-site visit is also planned. Minimum 15 days time is given to keep the documents ready. Now visit. Sir, how many days I can stay for visit? Visit should not exceed 7 to 15 working days. 7 to 15 working days. And I have to mandatory check controls relating to. The reviewer will mandatorily check controls relating to independence, maintenance of professional skill and standard. So how do you ensure your team is independent? How do you ensure your team has professional skill and standard? Wherever you're stuck up, how do you ensure you take outside consultation? Staff recruitment, office administration. This I have to mandatorily check. When I go, I'll check these 5 controls. This will help me to understand how much reliance I can place on you. These 5 controls mandatory to be checked, and I have to also report how these 5 controls were. So if question comes, which are the 5 general controls which a reviewer will mandatorily check in a peer review? This 5. I have to just write this 5. If I write anything else, marks are not there. Okay, now how many assurance engagement I should select? How many files I should select? 3, 5, 10. How many files I should select depends on the selection of assurance engagement. The number of assurance engagement to be reviewed depends on okay, the question comes, which are the general controls which I need to check? Controls relating to independence, maintenance of professional skill and standard, whether you take outside consultation or not, staff recruitment, supervision, development, office administration. And number of assurance services which will be reviewed depends on how your controls are, size and nature of assurance engagement, methodology adopted, number of partners, number of location, fees charged, GST paid, etc. All that I will see. Now, initially, based on sample, I selected 3 files, but after seeing your controls, I feel no, I have to check more. Based on questionnaire, I selected 3 files. I come over here, I see this general controls. I feel general controls are weak. Now I feel I want to check not 3 files, 5 files. I can consult with peer review board, and with their permission, I can make it 5. Okay, so from the initial sample selected at planning stage, the reviewer in consultation with peer review board may reduce or enlarge the initial sample size. But I have to consult peer review board. Okay, so based on questionnaire which PU had filled and given me, plus the list of assurance engagement, nature of services provided, fees charged, disciplinary proceedings going on, they gave me detail. I selected initial sample. Then I'll come and check this 5 files. Now when I come, I have to mandatorily check this 5 general controls. After checking general controls, I find your controls are too good. Instead of 5, I want to make it 3. It's allowed. Or if I felt your controls are bad, instead of 5, I want to make it 7. Allowed, but you have to consult peer review board. Next. Now review of records. I'll review the records. It will be a compliance procedure, substantive procedure, because I have to check your systems also, policies, procedure. So reviewer is required to adopt a combination of compliance and substantive approach. Compliance is basically to check whether proper control procedures have been established by PU to ensure the audit is as per professional technical standards. And substantive, I'll review the working papers in order to establish whether really the audit is carried out as per the professional technical ethical standards. So whether you put in place systems, procedures to ensure the audit is done as per technical, professional, ethical standard, and I'll see your documents to see whether all things are really as per that or not. So you will do as per compliance and substantive approach, and then reporting. So one, I have to report about general controls. You should report about the general controls: independence, maintenance of skill and standard, outside consultation, staff recruitment, office admission, same. General controls. And now, before I give a report, peer reviewer will give a report to peer review board. Peer reviewer will give a report to peer review board. Before I give a report to peer review board, if any findings are there, I should communicate the finding to PU and ask for their answer within 15 days. Okay, so see, the reviewer, before making a report to the board, communicate the preliminary report findings to the PU. And PU shall within 15 days submit the representation. PU shall within 15 days submit the representation. Now, if reviewer is satisfied with the reply, तो फिर क्या करेंगे? Clean report. Then he will give clean report. Everything is fine at PU. Everything is fine at PU. If he is satisfied with the reply, he will give a clean report to PRB. PRB को final report with preliminary report, replies, everything he will send. Will submit a clean report to the board. This is clean report. If he is happy. If he is not happy with the reply, he will give a modified report to PRB. Okay, if he is not happy, if reviewer response by PU is not satisfactory, he will submit a modified report to the board. If response is satisfactory, he will give a clean report to board. Response is not satisfactory, he will give a modified report. And whenever it's a modified report, there will be a follow-on review. Follow-on review after a period of 1 year. In case of modified report, the board shall order a follow-on review after a period of 1 year. And this 1 year can be reduced to 6 months. Follow-on review. So, if I just try to see the process till now again, PRB will select the PU. They will communicate to PU that you are selected. They will give names of 3 reviewers. The PU has to select one of the reviewer, inform back to PRB within 7 days. PRB will tell to the reviewer that PU has selected you, and PU has to give his reviewer has to give his consent within 7 days to PRB. Okay, once reviewer's consent is received, PRB will tell to PU. PRB will tell to PU that reviewer has given his consent, and now you need to send to reviewer. You need to send to reviewer within 15 days, duly filled in questionnaire, list of assurance engagement, nature of assignment, fees charge, everything. Any proceedings going on against the firm or partners or any qualified assistant, that all details you have to send it to the reviewer. Okay, and peer review board will also send to reviewer the details based on the UDIN generated. Okay, now reviewer, after getting all detail, within 15 days I have to select a sample. I have to tell you, okay, these are the files I'm going to check. They'll select a sample and will also plan for an on-site visit. On-site visit ka date will be finalized. Minimum 15 days time should be given to keep documents ready. And overall review should be completed within 90 days from the date PRB informed PU. Okay, now the date came. The reviewer will visit PU. On-site visit can be maximum 7 to 15 days. 7 to 15 days it will be. And whenever I go, I have to check general controls relating to 5 things. Independence, staff development, outside consultation. Then we had maintenance of professional skill and standard and office administration. So these are the 5 general things which I need to take care. And number of assurance engagement which I'm going to see, I had selected earlier. Based on this control testing, I may increase or decrease. Later on, my procedure. My procedure will be a mix of compliance and substantive. When I check your systems, policies, procedure, it's a compliance procedure. And when I'm checking other things, then it's a substantive procedure. Now I come to the reporting. After I done it, I have to first give a preliminary report with my observation to PU. And PU has to give me reply within 15 days. He can give his basically replies within 15 days, representation. Okay, with the representation, if I'm happy, I'll give a clean report to PRB. If I'm not happy, I'll give a modified report to PRB. And if I give a modified report to PRB, PRB will come out with a follow-on review after a period of 1 year. Now, illustrative qualification. Illustrative. When do I give a modified report? If there are problems in PU. Illustrative qualification. Okay, the PU does not have a documented policy for system of quality control as required by SQC1. So quality control के लिए they don't have any policies procedure, they don't have policy procedure for accepting new client, nothing. So that's problem. PU has no practice of documenting the samples tested for test of detail. Okay, the samples which they have tested, they don't have documentation properly. Third, there's no evidence in the audit file of engagement team's evaluation of management's assessment of going concern. Whether the entity is a going concern or not, there's no evaluation of whether entity is going concern or not. That is not done by PU. PU does not have a system of supporting or encouraging its resources to undergo relevant professional education. No evidence in working paper prepared by article assistant for review done by senior. The work of juniors not reviewed by seniors. Professional development, we don't have any system of giving training to the employees. No evaluation of control environment. Okay, PU is a audit firm, they've done audit. When they do audit, they have to evaluate the control environment of the client. There's no evaluation of control environment done. There's no testing of internal controls done by the PU while doing audit. These are illustrative qualification. Just example, you can add anything else also. So वहाँ पे there are problems. In PU has not done the audit properly. They are not maintaining, say for example, permanent audit file and current audit file separately. So still, I will have qualification. So illustrative, any reason. They don't try to identify the fraud risk factors while doing audit. I can put it over here. So anything, any essays they are not following, I'll put it over here. Okay. Now, peer reviewer gave the report to PRB. If it's a clean report, PRB will give a peer review certificate to PU. If reviewer has given a clean report to PRB, PRB will give a certificate. Aapka review ho gaya. And now next due date will also be mentioned. After 3 years again it will come. But if it's a modified report, they will not give a certificate to PU. Modified report tha, peer review board will not give a certificate to PU. But they will tell you that a follow-on review will come after this date. And once follow-on review is over, then you will get the certificate. So peer review certificate. The board shall within 3 months issue a peer review certificate to the PU mentioning next due date. This is in case of clean report. If it's a modified report, the certificate cannot be issued and they will inform PU about the due date for follow-on review. The follow-on review kab aayega, uska date, they will not give certificate now. If it was a clean report, the reviewer submitted to PRB, PRB will give a certificate to PU. कि आपका review is completed, next review will fall after 3 years. But suppose it's a modified report, then the peer review board will not give a certificate to PU. They will tell the date for the follow-on review, which will be after 1 year, which can be brought down to 6 months. Now the entire process is given in chart form. You can do it on your own. The next 3 pages flowchart is for your self-study. Flowchart is for your self-study. Inherent limitations of review. Now tell me, peer reviewer went and did a review. Peer reviewer went and did a review. Now when I go and do review, do I go surprise? Peer reviewer went and reviewed the work of PU. Do I go surprise? Sir, we give 15 days minimum. Yeah, 15 days are given to keep the documents ready, file ready. I tell you, in that 15 days, the PU will make up the file in a perfect manner so that when you go to review, you feel, they are doing very well. The file to ऐसी बनाएंगे, even though audit was done properly or not, file will be made properly to make sure that you feel audit was done in the best way. I still know when I was an article, if any of our file is selected for peer review, वो file is made in such a way that reviewer will feel audit is done in the best way. Audit किया कि नहीं किया, लगना चाहिए अच्छा किया. So what happens is the reviewer comes, reviews, but वो 15 दिन दिए, they would have made that the file. So reality might be something, but by looking file we feel the PU is working well. So in spite of peer review being conducted, all weaknesses of PU might not be detected. The review would not necessarily disclose all weakness. The review would not necessarily disclose all weakness in compliance of technical standards and maintenance of quality assurance services, since it's based on selective checking. I'm not going and coming and checking all your files. I do selective. And I give you time. You would have made that files ready. Okay, next. Difference between peer review, quality review, important. Difference between peer review, quality review. Peer review board is set up by ICAI. Quality review board is set up by central government. Peer review board focuses on systems, your procedures which you are following, policies, procedures which you are following. It's not to find your fault, but it's to develop a good system. Quality review board is there to see whether a particular audit, quality review is only for a particular audit, वो audit आपने बराबर किया कि नहीं, तो they are there to find your mistakes only. So this is a review of systems and procedures of audit firm. Intention is not to find fault but to develop the system. It's a part of activity of ICAI. It's a part of activity of ICAI. But a quality review board is constituted by central government. And it is for one particular audit. One particular audit is selected for quality review, and we'll see whether that audit was done properly or not. Main objective is to find errors in that audit. The main objective is to find errors. So वहाँ पे objective was to see whether you're following good policies, procedure, overall firm level था. That was firm level. This is individual audit. One particular audit is conducted properly or not, उसके ऊपर. If serious errors are detected, disciplinary actions are taken against member. So peer review, it was to strengthen your procedures, policies, internal controls of your firm. One chartered accountant coming checking work of another chartered accountant to help them strengthen their controls. And it was ICAI to ICAI. Quality review board is by central government. If your one audit, like Satyam mein fraud was discovered, so that year's Satyam's audit या past के Satyam के audit, if they are selected by quality review board, imagine you did the audit. So PwC did the audit of Satyam. That audit ka quality review happens, and if we find you did not do the audit properly, we will take actions against you. It's only for particular audit, not general for the firm. One particular audit. Okay, this you will understand better after your part 2 quality review is done. So this difference you'll understand better once quality review is over. Okay, there's one question. Anand, a practicing CA, is appointed to conduct peer review of another practice unit. What areas should you review while assessing independence of PU? Remember 5 general controls I have to check. Independence, staff supervision and development, development of professional standards, outside consultation, office administration. So question is, what areas you should look while assessing independence? Independence के, तो whether they, how do they maintain independence, उसके लिए what areas I should look. So this is the answer. ये नीचे answer है. Does PU have a policy to ensure independence, objectivity, integrity? Who is responsible for that policy? Does the PU communicate this policy to all the staff? Do they monitor compliance with the policies? Do they periodically review the PU's association with client to ensure objectivity, independence? And how do they deal with threats to independence? So this is the answer. Now, upar wala is just intro. Isme I can skip something. From the earlier part I can skip something. Intro I can have very short, but this points has to be there in your answer. So how Anand should review assessment of independence of PU. So whether PU was independent while doing audit. So whether they have a policy, who is responsible for policy, whether they have communicated policy to all staff, whether they monitor compliance with the policies, do they periodically check, does PU periodically check association with the client to ensure objectivity, independence, and how do they deal with threats to independence? Clear che? Okay, so we are done with part A, that's peer review. Part B, or the second part, quality review, we start after a break. We take 10-15 minutes break and then we come back and do quality review. Enjoy your break.